Good there, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another edition, everybody. Welcome to, are we even muted? No, we're live. There. Oh, I didn't even hit no intro. Welcome.
No, I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Welcome, Thomas. Welcome, Denise, Amy, as everybody's starting to slide in. We'll play the music for a little minute. So how y'all doing, Barb?
Good. Good. Hey, Carol and Denise.
Yeah.
I miss you too, Denise. Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll give everybody a couple minutes to slide in. So
Leonard's here. Yes, you know, we've actually had a pretty exciting week around here, but I'll we say hi to everybody and stuff, you know. Yeah, some good stuff. What about you, Tom?
Oh, it's been really exciting. I broke a toenail.
Oh, no.
Broke a toenail.
You know, when you get older, your life it changes. You know,
Yeah.
or different things excite you.
Doesn't it? Right. It does. Welcome, everybody. Round of applause there. Yeah. So, so I just got
Grizzly,
back.
how have you been?
I'm doing good. So we're going to Michigan. I guess I'm leaving at midnight Friday because we're going. I guess it's Saturday at 8. I guess 8 in the morning. I don't know. So we're going to have Curtis there and Brian Barber's supposed to be there and some other people. So this can be interesting. And then I'm going to be in Harlan, Kentucky for the Doolin Sisters. I'll be filming them on the ghost hunt in this old hospital. They turn into a hotel. So it's going to be interesting to film that. So, so interesting.
Fun.
Yeah. Wow. So they're going to put me up in the hotel for a couple of nights, and it's going to be like, woo. So, I'll be down there the night before setting up equipment. So we'll see how that goes. Welcome, Denise and everybody. Round of applause. Yeah.
So what can you say? Wait, did you say the location? Can you say the location?
Harlan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
So, what's the history behind that?
I don't have the specs on it, but it was an old hospital or an old school or something. It's got the old locker still in it, but they converted it into a hotel or something. So it's some kind of paranormal sisters that are well known are going to go down there and investigate it. Nice. And when I was out of on the West Coast or Midwest, they contacted me and they're like, well, "Why don't you come down there and film it?" And I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, come on." And so they talked me into doing it. So I'm going to do that after the Michigan trip. So I'll be back in town probably Wednesday, and I'll leave Thursday, be down there Friday, and come back probably Sunday. So
busy.
Yeah, I'm staying busy.
That's exciting. That's fun.
It'll be fun. Be real fun.
That really sounds familiar. Harlan, Kentucky. So I'm wondering what. I don't know if I watched
Coal miner's daughter.
Yeah, but but as far as like for something more like I'm thinking like paranormal or.
Well, there's a lot of paranormal, a lot of Bigfoot out there. The coal mines down there.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. The country singer.
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her museum's down there.
Oh, nice.
Not too far from down there. So yeah.
Cool.
A lot of history.
Yeah. Hey, little twisted. So, and I know that I'd sent you guys a message, but so my husband is he's a believer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Especially since with all the stuff we get, around here. But he is now 100%. He's a knower or whatever. He's an experience or whatever, I guess you'd say. Let's see, what night was it? Saturday or Sunday? We had been doing stuff on the house that day, and working outside, and it was he and me and our daughter was there for a little bit, my son-in-law, and we had the cars like all kind of like moved around in the driveway. So my husband always likes to have like put everybody's cars back in the space where they belong, whatever. So he he was the one that was out there. It was like after dark. So, and he was out there by himself, just, whatever, cleaning stuff up and stuff. And I wasn't taking a shower, and he said he could hear this noise coming from the woods. And he's like, well, now what's that? That's like a weird noise. He's like, oh, I better go tell Barb. So he saw that I was taking a shower. So he's like, okay, he kept hearing it. He said about, first he told me 5 or 6. Now he's like, then he said to my son-in-law, it may have been more than that. Like 6 to 7, 8. So he thought, okay, I'm going to go up and I'm just going to walk up to the woods and I'm going to just start film. I'm just going to start recording it on my phone. And he said, this was regular. This was going on for a while and it was regular. He goes up, turns his phone off. Nothing. Like there's nothing, it immediately stopped. And he said, just like you say. And I'm like, yeah. So then, I'm like, well, what noise did you hear? And he was trying to make like noises. And I'm like, do you think it would be like a cooing? And he said, I don't know. And I said, let me place this recording that I'm thinking is most similar to what you, and it was the cooing Bigfoot. And he said, that's it. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And he said, wow. Yeah, he said, that's exactly what I heard. So then he was kind of excited. I could tell he was excited, I tried to get him to come on the show. I don't know. I might be able to talk. I don't know. And he's like, no, I'm not ready to talk on air yet. like we have this big.
You remember that recording I got from April from Salt Fork, that the older gentleman, the howling, and nobody knew what it was. And I heard it. I got it from Tennessee, remember? And I said it was Dog Man, and everybody was like, And so Al Santiago was on the show.
Oh,
I said,
cool.
Al. I said, let me play something to you. And I played it. And he was like, good God. He was like, that's the best Dog Man call I ever heard. He's like, where'd you get that? And I was like, I know, right? He was like, that is the best one ever. He said, he was like, where'd you get that? And I told him. He was like, I've never heard one recorded like that. And he's like, that call is the best one that was ever recorded he's ever heard.
Wow. Do you still have that? Or of course you have it. Play it for us again, because I want to hear it again.
So before I play this, I want you to hear this. This is what we heard on the last outing at Salt Fork. Here we go. And Old Bear sent this to us. Let's see if it will play.
Okay.
Oh, it's muted. Hold on. Let me rewind it. It's still muted. Hold on.
There were reports of.
All right, let me try it again. And
I maybe heard what sounded like a Canadian goose.
I mean, there were reports of Canadian geese here, but those reports say no longer. But strange.
So I downloaded an actual Canadian goose call. So now I have a spectrogram that visually shows the audio frequencies of the recordings. And we have an auditory match, but we don't really have a visual match here. And so I'm just going to play the sounds as I found it. What's that? And so what we're looking at right here, that's the little Canadian goose that I recorded. But check this out. This is a Canadian goose. See that vertical delineation? Yeah. Almost looks like towers in Malaysia or something like that. And we have this horizontal banding for these sounds. So you can see here, it's a totally different signature.
Is there any explanation for why it would sound like something but not match visually?
Well, mimicking. If something's using a sound that it heard but has vocal flexibility, they can reproduce the sound, but it's not necessarily going to look like it.
There are so many animals in nature that do mimic sounds, right? And there's no question when I listen to it that you have a sound match. But then when you visually demonstrate the sound and that they don't match at all. Strange.
All right. Now, Thomas remembers this. Let me mute that. I thought I had the whole clip. So we heard geese, but it was not geese. It sounded like robot geese, because as I was filming it, I was sitting there going, guys, that's not geese. that's not geese. And everybody's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's not geese. And I'm sitting there on my phone, and I have my camera, and I thought I was recording on my camera. And I'm sitting there on my phone playing geese, and everybody's like, Grizzly's right. And Old Bear found this on the internet and sent it to me, and they matched the audio compared to real geese, and it was nowhere near.
Yeah.
And something was trying to mimic the geese. And Thomas is out there. Thomas Guesswine, if he's still here, he was in the chat a minute ago, because Thomas was like, Grizzly. And it was down in the valley in the swamp. And it was like going around us, around the fire. And it was crazy. It was just like crazy. So let me pull up it was pretty wild. Let me pull up while you're all talking, let me pull up the audio on that. It was. But he sent that to me last night when I was driving back from Midwest. Okay, let's see here. And of course, I got like 500 messages. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
I think his name was, what was his name? You remember his name?
The guy that got the recording?
Yeah. Was it Edward or? Let's see here. Not George Knapp. Why would I say George Knapp? He sent me a message. Let's see here. Not
Rest
Edward.
in Peace Paranormal Gear says, thank you for that. Says there's also a bird identifier that you can download too, and if the sound doesn't match it, it won't say anything. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna have to find that. And because I have some you guys have heard my the geese that turn into like wah. So they're definitely not geese.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Sandstones. Let's see. I just played it last show.
You know what a 500-pound canary says, don't you?
What?
Yeah, right. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. I think it's Ken. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, I got it. All right, let me click on it. Yep, his name's Ken. All right, let me pause it. And action here. Here we go. I said Edward, it's Ken. And
that's
action.
close.
Yeah. Wait. Holy crap. Yes, that's great.
Now this terrorized this neighborhood down in this valley for about a week and a half, and it took him 3 days to get this recorded. Now this is legit recordings. He got it off the cell phone. Wow. Remember, because they brought this up to the spring meet, and this is a resident, and he brought it up to me to validate what this was, because they didn't know what it was. But it scared the hell out of the neighbors, and the police and the Fish and Wildlife wouldn't touch it.
Whoa!
So,
wow!
Yeah,
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the spectral analysis of that. That little trailer squeal just is unbelievable.
Well, like I said, I heard that in Tennessee about 3 or 4 years ago, and that one guy, he ran out. He knew exactly what it was, because I was like, "What the hell was that?" Because it reverberated through the valley, and it was like, whoa, and I was like, whoa, and that one guy was like, "Whew," he was gone, and the other guy was like, "Do not run." I'm like, "What the hell? I ain't running." So, and when I heard that, I was like, "Oh hell, I know what that was." When I was like, "Oh, bears, what do you think this is?" No bears, I know what that is. And when I played that for Al was like, "That is the best dogman call I heard," because that's what he hears up in New York.
And Dan Dodson gets a lot of good ones too. Like incredible. Man.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, I hear people's ones they get, it's like they're made up. Sorry.
Well, Yeah,
You can put them on
Lois
the
too. I'm trying to
spectrogram. You're
visualize
like, yeah.
the vocal cords. Yeah, you're right. That's to make that sound because of that, like that at the end, that like
Yeah,
kind of
it's oh yeah.
Yeah. Geez. I had sent you, Grizzly, the YouTube of my cooing Bigfoot, if you want to, which is what my husband
Oh, you did?
heard. Yeah, if you can, if you want to play that and see if it.
All right, here. Let's see here.
And it's not right at the begin. Yeah, the lungs, right? It's not right at the beginning. You'll hear it like a little bit in. It's not too long. It's short.
Go back. Yeah, I don't know why I closed out my Facebook. I do that every time, don't I? All right, here. And was today's Daughter's Day?
Yeah, I guess that's what they said.
Really?
So I saw on Facebook. You know, you can still not. When you're done, you can.
All right, here. All right, let me pause this and action here. Oh, it's muted. Did I play?
There you go. Yeah.
I wonder if they're just sitting around, just like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, just
then,
making faces.
Yeah, and then there was another. You could hear the which I think is Mont is the male, the alpha, I guess, you know, and it's like they're communicating with each other because he make that like makes a sound. It sounds like a horse. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Are they just sitting around, just like, oh,
yeah? And then I could hear him like his wow. I don't know, just pretty cool. So then today,
a lot of times there are hand signals going with this. They're talking, and then they'll want somebody's attention, and that's what that call will be.
Okay.
When I deer hunt, I just throw twigs.
What?
Yeah.
Throw twigs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Acorns. Yeah, that's what I do. Or we'll just put on the radio, right? Go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So. Hey,
I thought you meant you're throwing twigs at the deer.
No.
You're probably not really successful. Yeah. I've never got one. I don't really know why.
Right.
Yeah, but he said, oh, that's it. That's it. That's what I heard. So I don't, Tom, what do you think? I think that she wanted him to hear her. They're
absolutely. Absolutely.
They're trying to introduce like, hey, she's not, Barb's not crazy. We're out here. So then today my daughter came home and she's a teacher. So she was home like, I don't know, like 2:55. And she comes in the door and she said, Mom, and her husband was here too. And she's like, I just heard a spooky noise in the woods. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, it sounded like, she said it sounded like this bird noise, but it sounded like somebody was pretending to do a bird noise. And so I'm like, wait, I said, do you think it? She's like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is what I heard. I'm not saying it's Bigfoot, Mom. So then we figured out it was an owl, and a great horned owl, which I think is very common in this area.
It can be scary.
Yeah, but she said it sounded like it was somebody that was pretending, like, and I'm like, that sounds again like a Bigfoot. And then her husband
500-pound owl. Yep.
Yeah, right. then her husband said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that they do that." Because he's a park ranger, and he said where he works, he's heard it sounds like people are sitting up. Sound like people are pretending to be birds and owls, and they're sitting up in. But he said, but they're up in a tree, and I said, but that Bigfoot can be up in a tree,
Oh yeah,
even the big ones. So
yeah,
so
they amaze me.
Yeah, pretty.
All right, here. I think I got some. All right, action here. All right, let's see what we got here. You get that off, and so we can have some reference here. And that would scare the hell out of me.
Yeah. That is creepy. Whoa.
Now let's do the horned one.
Yeah, great horned owl. Yeah, but isn't that it? I know when we were going through the owl sounds, to try to figure out, it's like, whoa, they make such weird,
Well, a lot of people don't know what they make, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So we had while you're looking for that, we had and I know that I told this story. Is it a screech owl?
Yeah, screech owl will get you too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. I like that one that you had. It was like,
yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's
that was pretty funny.
Pretty cool.
So,
wait, did you play the one though that? What were we talking? Oh no, you did. Yeah, the one that because you said the one that you played for Al. Yep, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. That is really a good one. And so last night, a friend of mine who lives here on the peninsula that I live on, she messaged me like 10:30, and she's like, "Are you still up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She said, she goes, "I'm freaking out." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Can I send you something that I just recorded?" And so she sent it to me, and it was like, I really couldn't hear. She's like, it's howls and screams. She's like, I'm it's freaking out. And she said, it's still going on. And I'm like, I really can't hear what you sent. If you could just keep trying to record it. So she sent me the next two, and you could definitely hear. It was like, whoa, definitely. She definitely had some Sasquatch. So she's on the other side of the peninsula, but she thought that it was still on the peninsula versus like across the water, because there is an island, Harstein Island, that has had a lot of sightings, a lot of activity. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right across.
Man, I wish I lived there. I'd be out in the woods with flare guns. Hey, Dirt Road, welcome.
To die.
I would. I'd be shooting flares everywhere, bouncing around up in the trees and seeing those damn things run.
Hey, Dirt Road.
So,
Yeah, so tonight I am definitely putting out my my handheld. I got to put that out again because I couldn't hear anything, but she's about 8 miles away as the crow flies, so probably wouldn't be able to hear anything. But I because I got some pretty well, like I can hear it through my earbuds, but I tried to have it amplified, some stuff that I got about a week ago. But Kenny Thibodeau, he was able to just a little bit, but it's not, it's not good. It's not something that I'd release or play. And then and Garrel had also worked on it, couldn't from Midwest Night Watchers, couldn't get it to. I'm like, darn it, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, pretty active. Lots of stuff going on.
well, and now's the season, bow hunters and everything going out in the woods, so it's getting ready to get stirred up again. So
yeah.
We have a friend, Barb, in Barbara Shoup's group, who has written a book on owls, Lee Calvez. And she's a naturalist, and it's very, very interesting, and we'll take you through those things. One thing you have to remember, and this is why that audio is so important, when you do the breakdown on that, it's like a signature. They have a voice signature just like people do. Okay. Now, if you get Mr. Sasquatch doing his imitation, that uses their frequency range, not the frequency. You're not limited to the frequency range of the owl. So you'll get these 5 octave spans in a single note. That's one of the most important facets of this, and I'm not good enough at it. I don't have the equipment. I haven't spent the time to learn, but the audio is very, very important to this study, and what you can learn from it and what you can show with it. It's every bit as important in its own facet as the intermembrane index is to the body build of them. It's that important, and I really, really encourage people to go more and do more on that.
Yeah, definitely.
And talk to them. They like to hear your voice too.
Yeah.
And if you don't talk to them, you're not answering them, and they get bored.
Yep. Yeah, I do. I do. I've been. And so, yeah, I think it works.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm thinking that by me making more of a concerted effort, to try to get out there and talk to them just about every night I do, and at least part of the day, or go closer to where I know that they're sitting around in there. Yeah. So I think now they're kind of reaching out to my family, like, hey, we want to know. And they'll
do that. They pick up one person. When that person's okay with them, they figure the others probably are too, so they'll start introducing themselves to them as well. Pretty quick, you got the whole family interacting. There's a lady you're talking about, Hartstein Island, lived in that area, and had a great reaction. She wrote a book. I can't remember her name. Can't remember the book's name. But she was at my 2012 conference in Richland, and it was fantastic. But they had the whole family involved in that. Scott Nelson knows them very well. Scott Taylor knows them very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, cool. And she wrote a book on it. Oh, I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get.
I'll have to look that up, see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of books set aside here to go to a museum, and I think it's in those right now. So I'll look that up tonight.
And then was it Rich? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Germo?
Mr. Mo, yeah.
Yeah. The sheriff, he had a sighting over there.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was deputy sheriff at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're having it. I wish I could go at Hama Hama this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking I was going to be able to go, but no, darn it.
It's gonna be. You have to like wet camping to be on the Hamma in late September.
I was just going to drive up. It's only like an hour and a half for me. I was just going to drive up, which and gosh, that makes me But I just bummer.
No, I can't go. We're going to a conference up in Skagit, first part of the month, and that'll be cool. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then we got the summit coming up the weekend before Thanksgiving, and that's always good. I saw the speaker list and some interesting people to listen to, even if I'm not on it this year. This is the shirt from 2017. So.
Oh wow! Hey, I think is this camera frozen?
Yeah, his is.
Your mouth moving.
He's a turn.
No, my mouth not. No, I'm locked up there somehow. But the voice is still coming through.
Yeah, your voice sounds fine. Yeah.
But I'm still as cute as ever. So that.
Yeah, we know that though, and that's a good freeze frame. You know. So,
Lady Wolf's asking you, how do you deal with fear when you see Bigfoot?
I don't have fear. I got rid of that 60 years ago. Okay. There's nothing to fear from them. As long as you respect them and treat them with respect, there is nothing to fear, period. Okay. If I happen to get into an area where I shouldn't be, say mom and the kids are there, they'll let you know. They're not going to attack you. They'll let you know you shouldn't be there. Listen, pay attention. That's what it's all about. Pay attention. And what do? I get out of there. Let them have it. It's their house. It's their home. And I'll go back and do my thing when they're not there. Okay. But there is no fear. That's the first thing that has to go. You have to lose that fear. That's one emotion that they cannot work through is fear. When we're in fear, we go out of our minds. Unreasonable, totally unreasonable. Okay. And they can't work with that. They choose not to, one of the two. It works out to be the same thing. And but there's no
yeah. And, you can't. It's a good point, though. And what you make though is that how would they be able to work through that? You can't unless they can remove the fear from you, right? But sorry guys, there's like a huge plane that just went over. My ADHD, like but no, and like that's what I'm trying to get away from that, the fear also, and it's I just have to keep almost like forcing and I'm really not that. I've lost a lot of the fear because of hearing them and seeing them. And so, and actually like feeling bad because of seeing that one so close up last year and like yelling, like, and I'm so bummed out. I told you guys, like, and I'm so disappointed that I acted like that because the poor thing is like, probably like, wow, thanks. I don't know. So, but that's, but it's
in my book, Face to Face, Sasquatch Face to Face, I have 32 face-to-face encounters in there. And some of them, the people talk about how, they were afraid for their life. They were petrified. They couldn't move, this and that and the other. And all the being is doing is standing there watching them. The fear is all in their own mind. Okay. Which is one of the reasons they freeze us in place in a dangerous situation. If we're frozen, we can't go run amok and run off a bank somewhere and kill ourselves. They freeze us, they leave, then they release us, and we can leave more orderly. The question was asked, does that mean we can tell individual Sasquatch by their voice? I can't now, but you can if you can do the analysis. Anybody that is, I know a few people who are very, very good at it. Dave Ellis with the Olympic Project is excellent. Monongahela, he's a federal agent, so he goes by a name, Peck White down in Georgia, all of them, they can look at a graph and tell you who it is.
Wow.
They tell you whether they've seen it before, put it that way. But yeah, it is possible to do with that equipment. It's, I don't have the equipment, number one, and I don't have the gear without the equipment. People, well, I'll tell you how my tone situation is. I was at work one day singing along with a song, and a friend of mine asked me, he said, I'll bet you don't have any trouble seeing the pulpit at church, do you? And I thought he was talking something about my height, being 6'4". And I said, no, not at all. Why? He says, with your voice, ain't nobody going to sit in front of you.
That's funny.
That's funny. It is.
They have, and maybe there's, there's two that I can definitely identify their voices. But that's just me, but that's from from an auditory standpoint. Sure. Unless the one that I hear a lot, unless there's a couple that I don't know. I feel like it's just one. I'm not sure though.
Yep. My teacher, I can recognize him anywhere, but when you're 9'3", you have a tendency to resonate on your own frequency anyway. And you got a chest about that big across.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really think they have a double set of vocal cords too. That's how they get that double sound.
Yes.
They're actually creating two sounds at the same time with different vocal cords.
Yep. Yeah. I wish that I wish that what I was going to say, that the recording that my friend sent me last night, I wish we could play, but I know I don't think it's going to come, it's not going to be it's not going to come across that well. I want to see if I can get it amplified to share, because it's amazing.
If you can send it,
it's what was that, Tom? I'm sorry. What?
If you can send it to me, I'll see if I can amplify it for you.
Oh, okay.
I do have the ability to do that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well then I'll definitely.
I have a very good video.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. What did you say, Tom?
I have a very good video auditing program, and
cool.
in that it allows me to increase the volume on the audio.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to, because it's a very melodic, tone, the way that all these are just like a chorus of them. Super cool. Yeah. Wow. Oh, Little Twisted said, I'm getting a good pile of gifts that Bigfoot leaves me on the. Oh my gosh, that's cool. They followed me 550 miles. It could be. So she's saying,
that's certainly easy to do.
Yeah. Wow. What kind of gifts do you get? Twisted? I can't. That's cool. That's neat. And so Susan Effis is saying, do you think maybe they can travel through portals? Well, I think they can. I don't know for sure.
I do too.
Would make sense.
They do. They travel through something, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we saw it. It's certainly like that video that Jennifer Appleton has that she showed on the show. It certainly looked like one was
during
coming
the
out
storm.
of the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it sure did. I mean, wow. Yeah.
I know my teacher has followed me to Oklahoma and to Georgia and to Canada. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I was getting my man beard done today, and the lady was like, I know you. And she goes, you're grizzly. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And she goes, do we have him here? I ain't gonna tell you where I live. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, no. And I'm like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, you know, I live like, I'm like, you know where we're at, right? Getting this done. And I'm like, I live not even 7 miles where the crow flies. I got like put like 40 something trail cams out, and you ain't gonna believe what I found. She was like, no. And it's like an hour later, people are like, would you get that guy out of the damn chair? He's bald. He's bald. I was like, you know,
Wow.
it was funnier than hell. And everybody's like, she was like, this is Grizzly, Bigfoot Outlaw. And everybody's getting their phones out. Funnier than hell, right? And they're like psychics, Bigfoot, Dogman, and it was comical. Then it was like, she's like, you graduated in 93. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I graduated in 97. My girl's like, well, I graduated in 95. And I was like, oh, hell, here we go. And it was funny because it's my hometown, right?
Oh,
And
that's cool.
it was just everybody start talking, and they're probably watching the show right now because I was telling them about shows tonight. And Digger Dog, is that okay? That's not one of them. And
hey, Tom, he said, hey, Tom, it's been a while. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Digger Dog?
Digger Dog.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah.
All right, well,
Hi,
cool.
Digger.
And she was like,
yeah,
we hear things out back in the woods. And I'm like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
here. They're actually here. And she's like, what? I'm like, no, they're here. She's like, well, there's been things like been, you know, disappearing. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, animals.
Oh.
And I'm like, were they on like runs? And she's like, yes. I'm like, were they loud? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, are y'all looking for tracks? She's like, husband, go out there and look and see if there's any prints. Her husband's all into it. And it was funny as hell. But I had to tell y'all about that.
That's cute.
But,
yeah, that's great. Wow.
But yeah, so it's funny because when I walk around the gym, right, I got my shirts. I got to get new shirts, right? Yeah, I got to get the Grizzly on the hunt, and I got to get the Outlaw. And every once in a while, somebody will be like, but anyways, it's fun.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's so fun to like when you run into somebody too that is so excited and wants to talk about.
Oh yeah, it is. You know, and it's nothing like when you're filming and you bring all your camera equipment into a restaurant. Everybody's like, and then you sit down. They all come over like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." They're like, what's all the equipment for? I'm like, nothing. We're just taking a break. But it is fun. But yeah, no. But so. Yeah, so the dogs and stuff, if you got activity, right, and they're like going back and forth in between like the area, and you got loud dogs and it's causing problems, they are, sometimes they will snuff them out. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if I was a Bigfoot and they're going after me or my kids,
right.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You know?
And it's usually now, Tom, isn't it usually the juveniles that'll do that?
Well, adolescents, because they're more in charge of the juveniles, and but they're very protective of them.
So
there's some people that have dogs that get along with them great. Barb Sheep has hers. Just, I mean, they're part of the team, you know. But
what's weird is that one image that I got on that one trail, I can't find my thumb drive. Because I bought all new equipment, right? But one image, we don't know what it is in that one area is where they're missing a lot of the animals.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Now, what kind of, all right, so what else? Like dogs, what else? What other kind of animals?
Chickens.
Chickens. Well, chickens. Yeah.
Well, everybody preys on chickens, so.
Yep. Yeah.
My outside wildcats start meowing loudly, and I ask them, please don't hurt my cat. Well, and then it goes to show they do understand English, ladies and gentlemen, and we hear this all the time. Barb, are your dogs cool with him?
I have one dog, and he was talking about Barb Shoop, which, but her dog is very in tune, and my dog is starting to get that way too, because I told the story last week about his little stuffed Bigfoot that he takes out now, and it's like on almost every day he wants to go out and take this little Bigfoot and like stand right along where they're at, and so he's like a little, I don't know, beacon now for them. It's so cool. Yeah. And also I've noticed that when I, if I'm reviewing some audio, or not only my own, but like something, people, how people send you stuff all the time. Hey, listen to this. And he'll react. If he doesn't react, I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't think so. My dog says no.
Oh no. Yeah. The animals know when they hear a sound.
Yes.
Remember when we used to play sounds all the time when your dog was in the room with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we got going on tomorrow, Barb.
Tomorrow, I have a really interesting show, and it's part 3. It was Michael Cameron. You and I had done a show with him initially, because I think, did you know him, Grizzly? I mean, he's a good friend of mine now, but so he's an author. Excuse me. He had all kinds of paranormal and alien, I mean, just all kinds of things through his entire life. And then as an adult, he went through memory regression, what do they, where they go back
regression, hypnotize,
yeah. Excuse me. Because he started having like flashes of things, and he's like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. Well, it turns out that he was part of the world government programs, like project, the Montauk Project. I don't know them. I don't have them. There's like a whole list of them anyway. And he was, as a child, was put into that. And so it's just fascinating, the things that he remembers now. And I don't know if it was MK Ultra, but it's similar to MK Ultra. And
this was the UK one, wasn't it?
Yes, he's from the United Kingdom.
This is not American. This is overseas one.
Yeah, but he was brought to America,
right?
Montauk Project, because he was involved in that, and he wouldn't cooperate. And what's really cool is that he now is in contact with people that were also kids and were also with him at the same time, that are corroborating now what he's saying. So I'm having Michael Anthony on as like a guest, but like a co-host, because he is the expert on all of this stuff, like any government conspiracy, that I was like, is this stuff even real? But yeah, it's real, and wow. So Michael Cameron's going to be on tomorrow.
Hey, Wes. How you doing, Wes?
Cool.
Super interesting.
Yeah. So we did a show on, I can't remember, Tom, what was it called, where all the people overseas were getting hit with this frequency, and they were having all this stuff. What was it called? It was only special people in the military.
Right. Yeah. I was
just watching a documentary on that.
Well, we did a show on that a while back. Yeah. I can't remember what it was called. If anybody's out in the audience, Lady Wolf, Little Twisted. Remember Lady Wolf or Little Twisted? We did a show on it. Only special people in the military overseas that was getting hit with this sound. And anyway, somebody in the military reached out to me, wanted to know why we did a show on it. And I'm like, well, why don't you call me on a public landline and we'll talk about it instead of from a block number? And they wouldn't do it.
Havana syndrome?
That's it. Yes.
Yep. Your dog. Yep. Thank you.
Yes.
Yay, we knew somebody. And Lady Wolf, my show tomorrow is on 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So
Havana syndrome.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was gonna drive me crazy. I've been watching documentaries of witnesses, like the actual witnesses that went through a lot of this stuff. And man, remember the thing with the down in Miami a couple months ago, where that monster supposedly like appeared? But Grizzly, you said you thought it was that you talked to some law enforcement.
No. So the alien, no, that didn't happen, because what happened is that I watched that happen. Remember, because I came on this show, and I was like, an alien, because the gangs were doing firework wars at the mall, and the police, when they left, everybody thought it was gunshots, and people were filming the police leaving in riot gear, and when people had their cell phones filming the police, some of the officers were asked what happened, and the cops were like, aliens. And I was like, oh, there we go. It's going to happen. And it wasn't hours later, aliens invaded the mall in Florida. And yeah, and that's why they shut down the airspace, and they had an all call out. And I reached out to all my law enforcement officers in Florida, and they're like, hell no, it was no aliens, because they were making fun of everybody. Even the people on the news were like, man, y'all got to stop. That was mass hysteria, you know. Then people start editing. Then people are like, "Oh, the police confiscated my phones, and I'm in fear for my life," you know. And I'm like, "Stop it, guys."
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it didn't happen.
Well, there was. Well, the reason I brought that up is because there was an incident. Do you remember this, Tom? Have you heard about this? That that there was something that the government was. It was a test that they were doing, and it may have been at Montauk. And Little Twisted is saying, okay, so they had this thing, this kind of portal, wormhole, whatever, that they opened, and this monster that's like 30 foot tall, it was like a fabrication, you know, comes out of it and starts just wreaking havoc like everywhere, was like wrecking everything, and they had to like evacuate, and then finally they just had to destroy the equipment. That's the only way that they could get rid of this thing. Have you heard about that?
They actually had an incident back in the late 70s, early 80s. I can't remember the guy's name. He got shot with the laser beam, and it split him open, and he lost, I think it was this left hand. He lost these fingers. Wow. And he spoke against the government, and they tried to assassinate him. I can't remember his name. Tom, you know who I'm talking about. They opened up a hole in the ground they were digging, and they hit a pocket, and they hit aliens. And the aliens shot a laser beam at them, and they destroyed, I forgot how many government people when they hit him, and he lost fingers, and they split him open. And the government tried to knock him off because he was speaking publicly about it. And he ended up dying, I think, years later from the radiation and everything, didn't he, Tom?
He did.
I mean, his videos are still out there. Out there on the media.
Hillary Austin is saying, is it Phil Schreiber?
I think that's him, yeah.
I think
gray-haired guy with the thing. I mean, here, let me see if I can, let me pull it up. But
you got to remember, everybody in my world now has gray hair, so.
Well, mine too. So.
Phil Schreiber attacked by laser.
Oh, now Digger Dog is saying Phil Schinder.
Is that who it is?
I don't know. We'll see what was it, Schreiber?
Alexa, who was attacked by wait a minute,
I missed something.
I know.
Can
stop. Alexa,
again?
stop. Okay, let's see here. Alexa, Phil Scheidner was attacked by never mind, Alexa. Let me just go quick. Yeah, hold up. Stop, Barb. Don't get me. How do you spell his last name, Barb?
Let's see. Well, we have two spellings: Schreiber. Schreiber.
All right, let's see who that is.
Well, I don't know if that's right. Yeah. And then there's another spelling if that's not coming up with anything.
All right, what's the second one?
Schinder. I'm not finding anything on there yet. Well, you know what? They probably scrubbed it from the internet.
Oh, that's it.
We probably won't be able to find it.
No, that's it. Second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me share my screen. Yeah. So that's him. The second one is, and he actually got attacked by aliens. That's him right there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I could pull up a. I don't know if I can pull up a YouTube video. Let me see where he actually talks about
Digger Dog
it.
says artist Salida Mesa with a dumb. Yeah, he was in a dumb, or they were down in a dumb, I guess.
Yes, that's what it was. Let's see here. Yes. Let's see here.
Oh, Phil says it is Schneider, too. I don't know.
Digger Dog. I don't know if this is copyrighted. We'll see.
Have focused on.
Yeah.
We got into that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, right. I know.
Oh.
In our previous session, following above them, Kurt, he spoke of the murder of his close friend, which he alleged had been made. He would close his lectures by saying that when his time came, just like his friend, his murder would be made to look like a suicide, reiterating that he had no wish to end his own life. Less than a year later, the impassioned public speaker would indeed be found dead in his apartment. His death, perhaps unsurprisingly to anybody who had ever heard him speak, ultimately being ruled
I wish I could get him to talk. Let me see if I can find him talking.
That was, Hillary Austin said, mysteriously found dead. Well, she said in his hotel room, but, the guy making the YouTube video could also have it a little wrong.
Yeah, let me see if I can find him talking. Hold on. While you're all talking.
Digger Dog is saying Phil Schneider. Schneider. What did I give you? Did I give you R? Oh, look up that. Schneider.
Yeah, that's who I got. Okay. Yeah, that's who I've got. I want to get where he's talking about it, because there's a little clip where he's actually talking at a conference, and he's talking about how he got shot with the laser. And all right, I think I got it here. I don't know if this may be copyrighted, but if it is, I'll take a hit. Let's see here. I think this is. All right, here. This is him.
Although a lot of it was done by laser tunneling and drilling. I have a copy of a book here.
See his hand?
I can't sell it.
Yeah.
But this fellow can corroborate with me. His name is Richard Sauter, PhD. He can corroborate with me in regards to everything I'm talking about.
Who is it by?
Richard Sauter, PhD. Here's another man that couldn't find the room. You need to give him your ticket. I will. And all that. I guess I'll let you know that kind of the background of my father. My father was a German U-boat captain, responsible for the sinking of 141 Allied boats to protect the President of the United States. And there was these caves, and they were rather highly infested with aliens, and what they called the silver wing. They didn't know what like all that was around were very primitive aircraft, and of course there was balloons, and that was about it. 1909 was pretty far back in time. Anyway, the alien agenda means, as far as anything goes, as far as the government is concerned, it is the worst scenario they could ever face. Because it involves, it's a crystalline form that predominantly does not occur on planet Earth. This is once again, this is all part of the into large groups of human beings being actually abducted and implanted, and that's according to the Roper report, which is part of the Remington Rand Corporation, who did the reporting. large gray two large grays that I shot and killed. I can't tell you how ugly they were, and I can never tell you how graphic the stench was. But in the cave, there were large cauldrons or tanks. They kind of looked like a big oval cattle feeding tank, but they weren't. They were special, looked like a stainless steel or metallic tank. And they were filled with alien and human body parts, and generally glands and what looked like some kind of blood. Now, I've always been taught that blood after a few minutes starts to congeal, but this was one of these vessels in the melee had tipped over, and all this bloody liquid had spilled out. It was a mess, and it was definitely not coagulated. How they did this is anybody's guess. So if we remember anything about cattle mutilations, we might also think that basically the blood in these cattle are totally drained out. There's no blood around. No blood around, in quote, the murder scene of the cattle. So this might be the way they're doing it. Now, whether this is sponsored by our government or other governments is a good guess. If it were up to me, I'd say yes, we're in the thick of it. We made a pact with the aliens, and therefore we must know what their agenda is, and also the federal government must also further know that if off my left eye and stick this thing up to my right eye and take a picture of my retina, and then if the green light went off, I could remove my card and I could leave it at the guard shack, and I'd wait for anywhere from 45 minutes to several hours waiting for the next shift to start. If it doesn't exist, then I'm just full of you know what, hype and hooey, so to speak, and I'm just crazy or something like that, and so be it. And if it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. And how can I be charged with a crime on something that doesn't exist? Another thing is that to be guilty of espionage, you have to sell for dollars or cents or some form of monetary gain, withstanding temperatures in excess of 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit before chemical breakdown. It is used in the window the small slit windows there in the underbellies and the blackened out windows of the actual cockpit, although most of these pilots fly blind. They
3/4 of an inch off the rail and is what you'd call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. The public basically has been totally lied to. We're considered stupid or even moronic in some cases. It's got to stop. If we're going to gain our country back, we must, and I repeat, must instill in our public officials, anybody that goes and does public service, they must tell us the truth. If they cannot do this, that's all old hat now. Technology is just basically the new technology we get is the old hat of the military. I'm going to be real brief about it. I carried a level 1 security clearance, the Rylite 38 factor. There are very few of us. There's nobody except myself, to my knowledge, talking like this. Nobody. I'm breaking the law. I'm breaking world as well as federal law, coming out and even talking about this to a group of people. I love my country more than I love my life. 2 weeks ago, I was shot in the shoulder. I don't want to gore you women out, but I was shot in the shoulder up here. I recently have become friends of a retired FBI agent who took me under the wing. He says, I've never seen a person braver than you. And I said, well, there's more coming. Our Patriot movement in these at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. By the way, he doesn't shake hands. He was kind of in a spacesuit because all aliens, regardless benevolent or otherwise, they're carrying germs and diseases and bacterium in and on them that are deadly to us. If I were making policy, I'd quarantine them all, because how do we not know that some of our diseases like AIDS, Ebola, hantavirus, and a few of these other weird designer diseases, as I call them, are not made from the cadavers of some of these aliens as a biological weapon to use against the people of the United States? Well, I'm tired. I'm a tired American speaking out. Now, what I'm telling you is kind of almost like a brain overload here. Back in 1946, we set off a number, actually 4 atomic bomb tests at Bikini Atoll. It's a group of islands in the South Pacific. I have an original photograph here with original language on the photograph that shows there is a large alien spaceship off a wingtip of a United States aircraft. It was a drone aircraft right at the point where the bomb was beginning to show a neutron flash cloud. Here's the bomb going off. Here's the airplane tip here, and here is the alien spacecraft. And go from there. Do your own program. Women that could have done this until this happened. It flopped in our backyard. Total lie. They look.
No.
All right, I better stop before I get too much flagged.
Yep. Wow.
But if you don't know about it, somewhere in there he talks about getting shot with the laser and how he got split open and everything. And he actually shows himself his scar, and it's pretty graphic.
Yeah. Wow.
But
I gotta. Yeah. So then I wonder when the most recent one of those was. You know, those.
I should have not closed it. So it looked like it was back in. Does anybody know? Back in the 80s, I think, wasn't it, Tom?
Oh, it's right
it looked
before
like
that.
It was PCR, wasn't it, or before that? Because I think when he
Yeah,
shot the
in
Greys,
the
it was back in the
70s.
70s. The two
Yeah.
Greys, yeah.
And I wonder what does it say when he was found mysteriously unalived in his apartment?
Yeah, that I don't know. So, but he's fascinating. But yeah, I posted 2 links above. Thank you so much, Hillary Austin. I greatly appreciate that. Anytime I play that on our network, man, we got people from I hate to say it, but where did Bob Lazar work? Los Alamos. They watch.
Yeah, you mean
they watch
area?
Yeah,
whatever.
Because last year, beginning this year, Los Alamos was like, "Hello, we're watching," and they commented, and everybody's like, "Grizzly," and I'm like,
Whoa.
so yeah, at least 25, 30 years. Digger Dog said, yeah.
He was killed in 1996.
96, yeah,
in Wilsonville, Oregon.
Hey, Pat Joy.
Wow.
Hey, Shade Viking.
Hey.
Yeah. So the thing though is that, and I really shouldn't say this on this program. You know, we look at the Clintons, right, about how many people mysteriously died, and it's just like, you know, I'll say this, and I'll stop because I know we're not talking about politics, but we look at how politics in American history changed. I think it began after the Reagan history. Everything with Bush in the CIA and just changed. I think it's when whoever in the government, whatever agency, took control of our nation. Just my opinion. So S4, thank you, Digger Dog, right?
You know, I don't know.
I end up dead, I love you guys.
I don't. It's just.
Yeah, asphyxiation, right? Come on, whatever.
I don't know, because when you hear these type of situations, I think it was probably well before that. I mean, look at RFK, JFK. You know, this has been going on.
Well, who's that one guy that talks about UFOs all the time? Oh, what's his name? And they cannot touch him. The government, nobody can, because if he ends up dead, he's got stuff all across America. It's going to be flooded. I can't think of his name. He's on all the UFO channels. He's getting
Yeah,
older now.
he was Area 51. Yeah,
Bob's one, but there's another guy. He's real famous. I can't think of his name.
Marzulli, is it?
He's one, but there's one more, and he does the
Lazar.
S4. Bob's one,
Bob
but
Lazar.
there's another one. He's got a bunch of pits on his face. I hate to say that because I think the world of him.
I don't know.
But he's on a lot of talk shows.
Yeah.
But and he'll tell you he's got alien artifacts in his safe, and so forth. But Greer, thank you, Greer. Yeah, a little twisted. Okay. Thank you, Greer. And he'll tell you the government can't touch me, and he's very outspoken, and he tells facts, and he tells everything about the government, and he'll tell you if something happens to me, everything's out, and everything. So Bush says,
hey,
nah.
Haley. Yeah. That's my daughter being a smart. My son-in-law. Hey, Haley, I told him.
Bush was the CIA when Reagan and everything was in office, right? So you got to stop and think. And if you look at the politics and how the structure of our nation after the Reagans, it all changed. Everything changed. The structure, everything. And because if you stop and think, when who went over and saw Putin and everybody was like, oh, we want espionage on that reporter, Carlson Tucker. Yeah. Because remember they wanted to hang him. Like, how can you hang him when he was because Putin wanted to tell the truth, and Putin was like, I can't. You got to go back and ask your president. And because Putin wanted to spill the beans, right? And Putin said, go back to Bush administration. And I was like, damn, he's right. And he stopped. And he handed Tucker files, but it was only a certain amount. But he wanted to, but he didn't. And I was like, damn, Putin would have. Yeah, Stephen Greer. You're right, Susan. Yeah. Yep. So, well, we took a turn on the show, didn't we, tonight?
Yeah, we did.
David
and then, which is also Skull and Bones. Yep.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. So, well, hopefully everybody enjoyed the show tonight.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I did.
I did. Tom's back.
And it's no PG-13 tonight. So, right. But yeah, so make sure everybody tune in for Barb's show tomorrow. And we got another one at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So, yeah. So, great. And from coast to coast around the world, everybody, good night. And take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Godspeed. Bye-bye.